What's up, everybody? Trinity here. Welcome back to the Second Street Marvel for today's, I guess, morning movie chat. It's been a while since we've done a morning movie chat here on the channel. Normally talking about comic books and everything lately. Kind of been wanting to dip my toes back into some of the speculation theories and things like that. There just hasn't really largely been a whole lot to go off of. But recently, over this past couple of, I don't know, I guess couple of months, I've kind of been looking into things like the Eternals and stuff like that, for looking for clues and stuff that is out there. And recently we got some rumors out there and kind of a confirmation, if you will, maybe, is it, that Namor is going to be in the MCU very soon. He is it's been rumored for a while that Namor would be the villain in the upcoming Black Panther film, and then just here over the weekend, maybe it was just yesterday, that Josh over at the Den of Nerds had put out a tweet, and I guess there was other people there was some rumblings going on about Namor in the MCU and it being cast. I remember these rumors well over a year ago. This actor from Narcos being rumored to be cast as the villain in Black Panther 2, and it turns out supposedly he is playing Namor. Now, this has been kind of the news. Apparently a lot of this came out yesterday. I remember seeing on Twitter, people talking about Namor this, Namor that. I didn't really pay attention. I was just kind of busy doing stuff yesterday, living life over the weekend. And I didn't really pay much attention to it until this morning. I got online and I seen more and more people talking about it, and it really came out that it was this Aztec heritage that is changing. Instead of being Atlantean from Atlantis there in the Atlantic Ocean, apparently now his roots are going to be in Aztec culture. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments below. Does this come as any surprise to you? What do you think about the change? Do you care? And let me ask you one other thing, is are you surprised that they're changing his, I guess, heritage to Aztec culture? Let me know down in the comments below. I want to thank you all so much for being here today. In case you guys don't know, my name is Trinity. This is the Second Street Marvel, where I like to talk about comic books, movies, music, and even more. And we got that's what we do. We've got channel memberships here too. You can see all the great folks in the chat with the badges next to their names. They are the Myrtle Maniacs, our channel members. One of the things I do with our channel members is we do some live streams. We some of our live streams go from being public to being members only for the rewatches. We get together. I build Lego sets with my son. You can see one we're building right up there, and different things like that, just getting together. We were doing Moon Knight Mondays for a while, which we're going to bring that back. We're going to bring back Moon Knight Mondays, but I think we might even bring back West Coast Wednesday, or bring West Coast Wednesdays, maybe Thunderbolts Thursdays. It's hard to say. But one of the things that I do with our channel members, I do some giveaways as well. And one of the things I am currently giving away is one of the books that we recently crowdfunded, that I recently backed here. This is Lady Death, Sacrificial Annihilation. This is the premiere edition right here from Brian Polito and the folks over at Coffin Comics. I recently dropped a video about Coffin Comics and them yesterday as well. Got something in the mail, and yeah, you should go check it out. But I am giving this away to one of our channel members. To get entered into that giveaway, all you got to do is be a channel member. Now, also, don't worry, if you're not a channel member, I do have a giveaway that I am giveaways that I do as well for just our regular subscribers out there. One of those is Radio Apocalypse. This is issue number 1. This is the Horizon Comics and Collectibles very first shop exclusive, done by artist Brian Lopez. Both of these will be given away to one of our subscribers. All you got to do is be subscribed to the channel. You got to like this video, because I'll know if you like it or not. You got to leave comments in any of my comic book reviews since this book released, you can leave it in the reviews of this, which I believe I released a separate video for this. If not, any of the new comic book day reviews that I have done from then until we hit 2,000 subscribers to get entered into that. But thank you all so much for being here. Now, one of the things that's okay, you know what? Let's get in here. Say what's up to the chat. Let me see here. I know I had it popped up here. There we go. Okay. Let's see. We've got Quentin Lee says here says, why can't I just have Atlantis though? Yes. Yeah. I think there's reasons for that. We'll get into some of that. Star Wars MCU OG, thank you so much for being here. Brian McCann, blah, 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 yak, yak, yak. Yep, you know me. Yes. Okay, let's see. Now time for the intro. Yeah, that little riff loops nicely. It really does. It really does. Like a perfect little loop. In one of the recent videos I did, I actually put the full song that was clipped from on there. Why change origins? Yes, I hear you, Star Wars MCU OG. Namor is Atlantean. Yeah. It's a dumb change. Atlantis, worshipping Neptune and Poseidon, after all. Yes. Well, and that's kind of what we'll get into right here. We got some of this stuff we'll get into. You know, I don't think I would show, you know what, here. There we go. We are going to be getting into some spoilers as well this in this stream. I mean, supposed spoilers. There's supposed spoilers. We don't know how much of this is true. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if my sharp eye can prove itself. And some of the things I've been talking about here recently. Okay, excuse me. Let me, yeah. Oh, come on. No, that's not what I'm trying to do. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Just trying, there we go. There we go. Sorry, guys. Just trying to make some things easier here. Trying to make some things easier for me here as we go. I should have probably situated the studio a little bit better this morning. Yes, the studio acts as it's dual purpose. This is a dual purpose studio. I do my recording in here. I record videos. I do my live streaming here. This is where I do my working out. Yeah, right here in this very spot where I stand, I pretty much sweat on regularly, like just about every day. My blood, sweat, and tears is all right here. But thank you all so much for being here once again. Smash that like button. Tell everybody you know to come hang out. Tell them to come learn some stuff. Tell them to come learn some stuff from what we've got to talk about here today. First, okay. One of the things, you know, I wonder if I even have that clip still up on here. Do I even have that clip on here still? Let me see. Let me see if I have that clip on here still. I don't know if I do. I don't see it. I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it. What I had was this. All right, you know, whatever. Screw it. We're gonna go ahead. Let's go ahead and get into it. Now, in case you guys haven't been around for a while listening to me flap my gums constantly about this thing, the movie The Eternals, and you know, largely I feel like this has been the MCU in phase 4. I've got a video that I recently shot that is uploaded. I was gonna drop it this morning, but then all of this stuff that I seen about Namor this morning, I'm like, no, we're doing a live stream. I haven't been on live on a Monday in a while. But one of the things I think about a lot of the phase 4 films and things out there is that they don't serve the characters and the films or shows themselves. It seems like they are largely planting seeds for the MCU in general overall. So, and I think that in itself has left me even feel a little bit like, hey, like what's going on here with these films, right? Like they've sat a little bit different for everybody, and I've kind of talked about that here. And one of the things I've talked about is exactly that these films and these shows have been serving the MCU as a whole, as opposed to things like the characters in the film itself, right? Like things happen, but it's largely to serve the purpose of the larger MCU storytelling narrative that they've got going on right now. And one of the things I've been talking about, especially, is the Eternals. If you go watch the Eternals, the movie opens up where you see the Eternals arriving on Earth. They're arriving on Earth in like, it was like 5000 BC. They end up in Mesopotamia. This is where they first show up, and they stop that deviant, from attacking the people there on the shore and everything. You remember that? Yeah, they show up there at 5000 BC. And then we see later that they are in where the little there. Oh man, why all of a sudden am I forgetting this? I'm all of a sudden forgetting this. They were in Mesopotamia, and then they were in, the other place there, like in the whole Fertile Crescent, where basically what it is it's Babylon. There we go, Babylon. I knew it'd come to me. They're in the birthplace of civilization. There is what it's known as. In this area in Mesopotamia, Babylon, this whole area in this Fertile Crescent was the birthplace of, I guess you could say, the birthplace of culture. It's where it all started, where they first started farming crops and things like that, paying attention to like the calendar and just knowing things like that, where a civilization essentially started. This is where the Eternals first arrived at, and they made contact with humans. Remember, I've talked about they gave how Cersei came and she changed that stone dagger into a gold dagger. And then later you see her taking the photo of it while she's there in London as it is being exhibited at the place there. I think that's just the London Museum, where she actually is teaching a class at. So she's kind of out there. If you ask me, I think she's out there kind of safeguarding some of these treasures and things that are out there. But we see that. We also seen they were in Babylon. Now, in the film, the last place that they end up is in Mexico. A city called Tenochtitlan? Tenochtitlan? Is that how you say that? I could be wrong. I could be wrong in how that's pronounced. But all right, there we go. They are in this town called Tenochtitlan. Now, you see when they are there, this is when they start having their differences. When, what's his name? The guy who's like, the hippie. Yeah, the guy who probably smells like patchouli and ass crack. What's his name? That makes all the people start hugging and making love. You see him where he is there, and they all kind of, this is kind of where they all go their separate ways at this battle in Tenochtitlan. Now, what's interesting is the timing of that battle. Okay? Now, all of this happens is because basically what you could say here, this is something I've talked about, is that battle there in Tenochtitlan was when the Spaniards were invading. Basically, that's when they came and started, were trying to conquer the Aztecs. They were in the gold. They were after, and what was it, Ponce? Wasn't Ponce de Leon eventually? Wasn't he the one that was after the, what was it, the eternal life, yeah. You don't act like you don't know what I'm talking. Don't act like you never watched Indiana Jones. Okay, but we see that's kind. I guess you could say maybe that was kind of the fall of a certain time period as well. And you can see that when it comes to the Aztec culture, a lot of the things that are going in there, like gold, things like that, all of this stuff, basically things that we see that, I'm telling you, all these little seeds planted in the movie The Eternals, right? So you've seen them end up there in Tenochtitlan. Now, it's interesting that because I was kind of had this theory going on that it had a lot to do with Moon Knight, that dagger, Mesopotamia being close to Egypt. They're there in the Fertile Crescent. All the things that we've seen in the Moon Knight series, all the gods, right? All the gods. We got Tarouet. We got Khonshu. Interesting. Khonshu is the moon god, right? According to the Egyptians, he's kind of the representative there. Interesting. And you know, a lot of these old cultures, the gods they looked up to, they all had different names for all of these different gods, right? You know, you had like Zeus and just all the different gods that there are out there, whether it's Greek, Norse, Egyptian, Chinese, Japanese cultures. All these different cultures have these different gods out there, of of the sun, of the moon, of the earth, of all these different things. So it's very interesting, and my original theory was that was exactly it. Cersei came and she gave them kind of that technology with that dagger that led to all this stuff, like we see in the Moon Knight series, where we see him kind of you can see like some of the gold-plated armor that he had under his suit. This all had to do with some of this kind of ancient technology, alien technology, celestial technology, maybe. I mean, the Eternals were created by the Celestials, were they not? Cersei being able to change those things. Very interesting, was it not? Which also brings me to something else, but something else I want to mention. I was choking down rewatching the series Loki, and believe me, it's tough to do. And the little scene in there when he's getting ready to go through, when he's being checked in through the TVA, and he's there at that like metal detector thing that takes the picture of his temporal aura. The guy there asked him, he's like, "Hey, are you human? You human as far as you know?" And blah blah blah. And he's like, "Oh, does not everybody not know the robots?" And he steps through, but he was talking about like, and I was thinking like, that like an Eternals kind of thing, because they're not exactly robots, but they're not human, right? Yeah. Anyway, anyway, moving on, moving on. So my theory largely has been that the Eternals came and they started giving humans this technology, and that Moon Knight and like I guess basically in this case, some of his armor and stuff he uses is based on that celestial technology and technology given to them, basically handed down from the Eternals. And interestingly enough, as the show went on, you get into episode 4 of Moon Knight. Episode 4 of Moon Knight is the one where we first see Stephen Grant inside of the mental institution, right? It was after he got shot, and when he was down there in the tomb, he got shot by Arthur Harrow, and then he falls and we see him there. He wakes up kind of in this mental institution, and very very interesting that, because what happens is he wakes up in this institution and he's watching a video, the video that he had the poster of up that we see in episodes 5, 6, where it was Tombbuster. And in this little clip of Tombbuster, Stephen Grant was with his trusty aide, and was that kid supposed to be the equivalent of Alfred Molina? Was he? Because we know that was definitely Indiana Jones, right? But we see the guy there, the Stephen Grant in the Tombbuster video. He arrives and he's like, oh, look at that! It's the what is he like the statue? What is it? The statue head or something like that of Koixa Koi Koyaxaquil. Koyaxaquil. I don't know the name. Here, let's just pull it up. Right here. Right here. He says it's the Aztec moon goddess. Very interesting, them gods. We've got different civilizations that worship different gods. Are they the same god? Are these gods eventually all going to battle? Interesting here enough. You get here into this into who is Koyo Koya Awaki Koya Kojo Koyo Koyolaki Koyolaki Koyolaki. Maybe that's it. I'm just looking at the thing here that it shows on the screen. Koyolaki, painted with bells, right? But it's interesting when you get in here to what it says. It says, in Aztec religion, Koyawaki, right, we're just going to go with Koyawaki, is a daughter of priestess Koit, Koat, Koet, Koeteku. We'll get into that in a minute. The serpent skirt. She was leader of her brothers, the Senson Hoitzenhaus. She led her brothers in an attack against their mother, Koiteku, when they learned she was pregnant. Convinced she dishonored them all, the attack is thwarted by Koiteku's brother, Huitzapakil, the national deity of the Mexicas. Now, they go in here and they talk about how in 1978 these electric workers accidentally discovered a large stone relief depicting man, I'm messing it up. Led to a large-scale excavation directed by Eduardo Matos Moctezuma to unearth the Hoyali Toichi Templo Mayor in Spanish. All right, the prominent position of Koikwaki stone. Yeah, we'll go with that. Suggests the importance of her defeat by Huitzapakil. I'm butchering the shit out of these names, I know. In Aztec religion and national deity. Now, the interesting thing. Ooh, look at this. What's that? What's that? What is that? The head of Quackil, circa 1500. Huh. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. Anyway, so basically what happened was they found this disc, and this disc is very interesting because you look at this disc, this picture of it, what it is Quaki, however you say, like I said, I'm butchering it. It shows her all dismembered and everything. So what the thing is here is apparently like I said, she led an attack on her mother, and basically because she gave birth to her brother. This is Huitzilopaktil, Paktil. I'm butchering it. But basically, what it is, it'll say right here, in Aztec mythology, Huitzapactl is the deity of war, sun, human sacrifice, and the patron of the city of Tenochtitlan. He was also the tribal god of the Mexicas, also known as the Aztecs of Tenochtitlan. Many in the pantheon of deities of Aztecs were inclined to have a fondness for a particular aspect of warfare. However, Huitzapactl was known as the primary god of war in ancient Mexico. Now, one of the things that they go on and say here is what happened was the one we were just talking about, Huitzapactl, actually went and led that attack on her mother, which with her brothers, right? And so it was because she got pregnant with this Huitzapactl miraculously. And they're like, hey, you disrespected us in the family. Like, I guess she didn't have a husband. Their father wasn't around or whatnot, so they led this charge on her. So what apparently happened in this tale is he actually hoiks a cocktail. Let's see if it shows it here. Is it this the one? I don't think this is the one. He actually let's see if we. Oh yeah, here we go right here. You can see him there, miraculously birthed. Well, as they were battling, as they were leading this battle against their mother, he basically just like miraculously just like popped out of her womb, a fully grown man, and he went and he chopped off the head of his sister, Quixopochtli. I think I said that right. I probably didn't. He cut off her head and basically, boom, kicked her down this big fucking crevice. Right? And she goes, woo! Does that sound familiar? Does that like sound like something that is that Vormir maybe? Ring any bells? Let me know. So basically, like, he fucking chops her head off like she's fucking Medusa. He says, "This is Sparta!" Boom! Kicks this bitch down this crevice. Boom! She lands. Her fucking body explodes everywhere. Is basically what happens here. It's basically what you see here in this picture. And then he goes off and fights the army, her brothers, and is like, "Fuck y'all!" Fucking kills them all. And then they basically have this curse. They are cursed, and they what are they known as? They are known as the Southern. Where does it says somewhere in here? The 400 Hoitzenhas. But basically, they were cursed, and she became the moon in the sky, and they became the Southern Stars. Is that what it was? They became known as the Southern Stars? Yeah, right here. Some authors have written that Huitzilopochtli tossed Quetzalcoatl's, I messed it up, head into the sky where it became the moon, so that his mother would be comforted in seeing her daughter in the sky every night, and that her scattered brothers became the southern star deities. It is difficult to verify these variations of the narrative with 16th century sources. Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry. I mean, maybe let's see how much I embellished on that story. Okay. Her miraculous presidency embarrassed Quetzalcoatl's other children, including her eldest daughter, Quetzalcoatl, Passamaquoddy. Hearing of her pregnancy, Senson Hoitzenhas, led by Quetzalcoatl, decided to kill Quetzalcoatl as they prepared for battle and gathered at the base of Coatepec. One of the Senson Hoitzes, Quetzalcoatl. I'm butchering these names. I apologize. I know. I'm just going the best I can. Fucking feel free to cancel me. I'm sorry. I'm Mexican. I'm half Mexican. Does that mean anything? That I don't think we're Aztec though, but just no, I'm not frozen. I'm waiting for you to see if I'm canceled. Anyway, okay, so as they prepare for battle and gathered at the base of Coatepec, one of the Sensorin Hoinces, Quetzalcoatl warned Huitzilopochtli of the attack while he was in utero. Hearing of the attack, pregnant Quetzalcoatl miraculously gave birth to a fully grown and armed Huitzilopochtli, who sprang from her womb, wielding his shield, twinily, and his darts, and his blue dart thrower called Zinatantaltol. I'm doing the best I can, folks. Huitzilopochtli killed Quetzalcoatl. Coitzacoquille, yeah, beheading her and throwing her body down the side of the Coatepec. He pierced Coitzacoquille, then quickly struck off her head. It stopped there at the edge of Coitepatel, and her body came falling below. It fell, breaking into pieces in various places. Her arms, her legs, her body each fell. As for his brothers, the Soinson Quinquas, he scattered them in all directions from the top of Coitepec. 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 But I'm butchering it. He pursued them relentlessly, and those who escaped went south. Some authors have written and blah blah blah. That was the Southern Stars thing, right? There. Bam! So, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. There's that, right? There's that. I will say what there is to that is the fact that I've been talking about this thing. I've been talking about this here, my theory here with the Eternals and what they were doing here on Earth the whole time in this technology and stuff. And seeing I guess this leak. Was this a leak before Josh from the Den of Nerds leaked this out there? Was this a leak before he did this? I don't know. I don't know. Somebody let me know the timeline. Does anybody know the timeline of how the Namor stuff went down? Somebody let me know down in the comments below if you know the timeline of the Namor rumors. Let me know. Like I said, I just seen him yesterday, and then this morning I didn't really look into him, and then this morning I seen him. I'm like, what's everybody talking about? Oh, Namor's gonna not be Atlantean. He's going to be Aztecian, Aztec. You know what I'm saying? That really comes as no surprise to me. It's funny because the other day, was anybody here in this live stream the other day when I was talking about this exact same thing about Tenochtitlan, about the downfall of civilization there at that time, in that war in Tenochtitlan? Me bringing up Coixaquaquille? Was anybody here for that? This is exactly what we're talking about. This is what it leads to. Am I surprised that it's Namor going to be the Aztecs? No! Absolutely not. Matter of fact, I feel vindicated, right? Vindicated. That this is all coming out. Because I'm like, hey, I tried to tell you guys. I tried to tell you. But I'm kind of interested to see here. Since we do see that, Coixaquaquille is the goddess of the moon to the Aztecs, and we know that in the Egyptian culture that Khonshu is the moon god. I believe the Greeks have a moon god too, and it's not Khonshu, right? Who's the Greek god of, and they go into a lot of this as well. You go in here and see right here, Coitzacoquille, goddess of the moon. Depicting dismembered Coixaquaquille was found during Mexican construction, Mexico City. Gender, female, Mesoamerica, Aztec, Mexica. Parents, Mixcoatl and Coitacu. Siblings, Coitzacoquille, goes through here. Consort, none. Greek equivalent of Coitzacoquille is Artemis. Oh, interesting. Artemis. This is like getting into this is where we get into the MCU. Artemis, goddess of nature, childbirth, wildlife, the moon, the hunt, sudden death, animals, virginity, young women, and archery. Member of the 12 Olympians. Animals, deer, serpent, goat. Oh, boar, dog, bear, quail, buzzard, guinea fowl, symbol, bow and arrows? Huh. Huh. Interesting that, huh? Crescent moon? Hmm. Animal pelts. Spear, knives, torch, lyre. Amaranth. Not, no, no. Amaranth, not Amaranth. Not that streamer girl. Not the G4 TV girl. Tree, cypress, palm, walnut, mount. A golden chariot driven by 4 golden horned deer. Parents, Zeus and Leto. Siblings, Apollo. Aphrodite, Ares, Athena, that's all. That's all very interesting, right? Now, this is like, if chances are some of you probably know a lot of this mythology and stuff. Like me, like when I was a kid, when I was younger, like I was always kind of stricken with Egyptian culture and shit like that. Like a lot of this other stuff was like, yeah, but like I think it's kind of cool that the MCU, and because Marvel always kind of did this anyway in their comic books, is kind of drawing off of the things in the world, the cultures and stuff like that, doing the best they could with probably the knowledge that they had or the extent of their knowledge. Just doing stuff like, I know, oh my god, all them white guys were being what would they be doing? Stereotyping everybody? Anyway. But like I think the whole thing is like they always kind of drew off of a lot of those different cultures and stuff anyway. And we see that the MCU is doing no different. And I don't know, maybe changing it. And are they changing it? Or is it that as the world evolves, we learn more about history? Hell, they didn't even find this this stone of Quetzalcoatl until 1978. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty recent. So, but anyway, gender female, Mesoamerica. Okay, where are we at? Oh, Greek equivalent. Here's another interesting one. Huh, Selene. Greek mythology, Selene is a goddess of the moon. She's the daughter of the Titans Hyperion and Theia, and the sister of sun god Helios, and the dawn goddess Eos. She drives her moon chariot across the heavens. Several lovers are attributed to her in various myths, including Zeus, Pan, and mortal Endymion. I'm sure I butchered that. In post-classical times, Selene was often identified with Artemis, much as her brother Helios is identified with Apollo. Selene and Artemis were also associated with Hecate, and all three were regarded as lunar goddesses. But only Selene was regarded as the personification of the moon itself. Her Roman equivalent is Luna. So I guess that would be her Aztec equivalent is Quetzalcoatl. I mean, I think it's cool that they're taking all this kind of mythology out there and interjecting in that and finding new ways to do things in the MCU with these characters. I will say that largely, a lot of people probably going to be upset about the changes to Namor, going from being Atlantean to being Aztec. I'm sure we're going to hear it. There's going to be a lot of people. And there's going to be people out there that don't really care. Like me, I mean, after seeing all this stuff kind of leading up to it, you guys been you know what's funny is I didn't even change it. So I was sitting there. Why don't you guys tell me because I wasn't reading the chat. Because I wasn't reading the chat. Yeah, when I was going through here and I was showing you guys this stuff. I was reading through here. This is what I was reading through. Right here. I was reading through this. This is what I was reading through. I thought I was showing you this. I thought I was showing you this. This is what I thought I was showing you. I'm my bad. My bad. Here I'm going back over it really quick. There we go. Quick, kind of. All right. My bad. But Obviously, I don't think, I think the movie should hold true to the source material of the books. That's not to say that they can't change stuff. But I also think there's probably, and I don't know every character in Marvel Comics, but I also think there might have been other characters out there to do some of that with some people that were other characters from those actual regions. But hey, who am I to say? I'm not Kevin Feige, but we also know that they do things differently in the MCU. And they are, as you can see, one of the things I'm talking about here is basically this, like, it's basically cultures, all these different cultures. As you can see, you got the goddess of the moon here for the Aztecs, and you go through all the different civilizations, the different time periods, and they all have these different gods these deities, I guess, that they look up to that represent these different things. So I completely get any kind of discontent anybody has for Marvel Studios once again changing a character. I understand their reasons for doing it. I don't think they need to do it. I'm not going to be one of those people that's super pissed because they do it. I do feel that they should do exactly how they had it before in the first place, but that is just me. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. I'm sorry I've been sitting here geeking out for a little while about this stuff, because this is stuff like look, I've been sitting here kind of talking about this here on the channel. Like, how long have I been, like, guys, let me know down in the comments, how long have I been talking about this? This my Eternals theory. It's for a while, right? And especially the longer the Moon Knight series went on, like, it's been like in my head. In my head. The other thing I've been talking about is is it's so funny. It's so funny, it's the conversation now. Right? It's so funny, it's a conversation now. I've been talking about this for well over a year. I went back and I looked at some of my old videos and live streams and stuff like that about the MCU Phase 4. What's wrong with it? Why is it something different with everybody? I've talked about this numerous times here recently. Even since Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness has released, and everybody has their different feelings about it, about Ms. Marvel coming out, about Thor Love and Thunder, about Spider-Man No Way Home, about all these streaming shows. Phase 4 just not sitting the same for everybody, is it? There's hype. There's people loving it. All that stuff, absolutely. But you cannot admit that the general consensus, not that it's good or bad, is that it is definitely hitting and sitting with almost everybody out there differently than the first 3 phases did. And we could really look back at the first 2 phases. But it really is. We're in full swing in the phase 4 of the MCU. One of the things, I got a video, like I said earlier, I got a video that I did of it. They're rapidly expanding the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They've got to do a lot of stuff. They're moving really fast too. Developing these shows, these properties. They've got to get a lot of new writers, a lot of new directors, a lot of new actors for these roles that they are doing here in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I think that expansion in and of itself is one of the biggest things that is kind of affecting the MCU right now. No matter how you feel about it, whether you're loving it, hating it, or somewhere right in the middle. Maybe you're being, like, cautious. I think it's due to a lot of these things, the new talents that they are bringing on board, and the rapid pace at which they are expanding the universe. In the last year, we've had 11 properties. It's been, okay, WandaVision was, okay, it's been a little over a year since WandaVision came out. A little over a year. 11 properties. We heard, Kevin Feige talking about, what's that retreat they went on, and all the people they went and they mapped out like the next 10 years of stuff. Look, you look at what they're doing, the pace they are at. I seen somebody the other day in a chat was like, oh man, who knows? But in 5 years we might have this many more movies and this many more shows. I'm like, dude, at the pace they're going, we're gonna have that in 2 years. In 2 years we're gonna have that. Like, the amount that you just said is 2 years away if they continue what they've been doing. 5 movies, 11 shows. Now, I do realize some of that was holdover. Black Widow, Shang-Chi was pushed a little bit, Doctor Strange definitely pushed, but a lot of it was crammed into this smaller window. But let's not act like they're not going to keep going. They're going to keep producing the shows. They're going to keep producing the movies, and it's going to keep coming month after month after month after month. Them bombarding you with content. Sounds great, doesn't it? I think that's one of the things that is affecting a lot of this too. But the rapid pace they are at, there's going to be some winners, whole bunch of losers, right? You know what I'm talking about. So they're not all going to be winners, but the other thing is they're not going to all be for everybody, right? Like, obviously, like, Ms. Marvel looks like it's more aimed at youngsters, teenage girls, teenage boys who are confused. I'm kidding. But it's obviously aimed at different audiences than Moon Knight is. I mean, if you think the target audience for Ms. Marvel and Moon Knight is the same, you're crazy. If you think the target audience for Black Widow and, I don't know, Captain America is the same, you're kidding yourself. If you think the target audience for She-Hulk is the same as for Punisher, you're probably kidding yourself. And I'm saying not the general, but the target, right? But what they will do is they will get everybody in by putting cool stuff in there. Oh, Ms. Marvel, that show for little girls? What happened in it? Oh, now I gotta go watch this show. It's gonna happen. Anyway, sorry. Let's get into the live chat. See what you guys are all saying here. Oh, come on. I have been flapping my gums for a while. So let's get in here and see what everybody's saying. Oh man, come on. Come on, man. Let me get my mouse pad here. Okay, here we go. And again, thank you guys so much for being here. Also, guys, in case you guys didn't know, like I said, I've got some videos queued up. We also got something here in the mail. Myrtle's gonna be in a little bit later to shoot another edition of Male Hydra. Also, make sure that you go check out. I'm not sure if you guys know Nerdette's Newsstand. Tristan was doing a live stream yesterday, and she had call-ins, debate time. So I called into her show yesterday over. Go check it out, Nerdette's Newsstand, and we were there just talking about different things out there regarding comic books, representation and diversity, I guess, in comic books, movies, some of those kinds of things. And yeah, you should go check it. You should go check out the stream that she did yesterday. It was a good time. Shout out to Tristan. Thank you so much for having me on. We're gonna have to link up again together sometime. You're gonna have to come on my show too. You're gonna have to come on my show too sometime, Tristan. Your audience is probably gonna say, "Hey, don't go on stream with this weirdo." Anyway. Okay. Where were we at? Mike Jokey Porter says we'll be listening. Gotta go do some stuff. All right. Namor has such a storied history in the comics. He was in Marvel Comics #1, helped Cap and Bucky in World War II, and didn't see the need to change his backstory. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I totally hear you there. I totally get that. Yeah, absolutely. 100. Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, he was. Yeah, because there was like, God, wasn't like Human Torch too? Like they were all like in the Defenders and stuff, all that stuff. You know what's funny though was that was the Human Torch that ended up being Vision, right? Wasn't that the ended up being Vision that was like, I don't know. I have to read up a little bit more on that. I can't exactly remember. But yeah. Yeah, I don't think there was any need to like, but like I said earlier, I do get why they're doing this with what they've done and set up. Like I'm not surprised by it. I'm not surprised by it at this point. Thing about Atlantis, they now know it was in Africa. The Eye of the Africa. They wasted making Namor. They wasted making Namor Northern African looking. All right. Morning Monday with Trinity. Throwback time. Yeah. Namor is Marvel's first mutant in publication. Yeah. Yep. Neither surface human, neither Atlantean water breather. He is a hybrid human. Absolutely. You know what? And people were talking about. Josh was even talking about the winged feet, and obviously part of his character and everything, and how he could fly and all that stuff. And what it started to make me think was, is this one of those? Are they going to do the high evolutionary thing with this? Are they gonna keep the wings? Yeah, the Fountain of Youth. There you go. Remember Namor's solo series in the 90s? He was billed as Marvel's first and mightiest mutant. Yeah. I didn't read it. Like I'm not super familiar with that, but yeah. Eternals got Eternals history wrong. They predate the Great Flood of 10,000 BCE in the comics. Eternals existed. Even in the MCU, they existed before that. He said that like that was their first mission when they showed up on Earth. Now, the arrival on Earth, you could certainly argue that, but they said they were around for years, going to these different planets and doing those things anyway. So, they were around before that, just not on Earth. But yeah, Eternals existed before the era of Cole. I'm guessing you mean Null even. Eternals in the comics have kids, families, etc. Yeah. The recent retcon was retarded. Yeah, and again, I'm not familiar with like with them from the comics either, to be honest. And really, that's where they're getting lucky with a lot of stuff, because a lot of people probably don't. And it's kind of funny because it was kind of something that I talked about even yesterday on the stream with Tristan about characters people don't care about. Right? There's always those characters people don't care about this character. Man, there's always somebody that cares about that character. Celestials created humans, then created Eternals. Deviants from humans. Eternals later gained cosmic energy powers through ancient by Kronos in an explosion. Titan Eternals don't have those powers. Right. Yeah, I was gonna say some of that stuff I do know. I'm not surprised the MCU is doing this crap, says Nicholas Tarasco. Okay, Brian McCann says the MCU is screwing up everything. It's a dead civilization for a reason. Pronounce it how you want. Nicholas, you're funny. I don't understand changing a great story character that's been popular for over 75 years. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no argument there. Hey, look, son. You see this shirt? Do you see it? No, you ain't gotta convince me. Man. Oh man, that's funny. Jedi Jen, thank you so much for being here, my man. Ryan, Nerd Executive. Okay. The comics gods was told by the Celestials to stop interfering in human civilization development and screwing up their experiments. Yeah. Basco scenario, thank you so much for being here. Says as a Hispanic, I don't want this character to be included. Just to tick off a box. We go to movies to escape agendas and everyday politics. Okay. I don't want this character to be included just to tick off a box. Absolutely agree with. Absolutely 100% agree with. We go to the movies to escape agendas and everyday politics. I don't disagree with that. But I also think that's very untrue, also. I think that's very untrue. I think there are so many things out there that these people who don't like political narratives in their comic books or their movies don't realize that a lot of their favorite movies, a lot of their favorite comic books, a lot of them, I wouldn't say have agendas, but they definitely have politics in them. They're all, like, a lot of them are very politically, not even, like, they have all those undertones there, all of this stuff there. A lot of it does. They're woke, if you will. A lot of that is already there. The difference is that, do I really need to say this? It's not done in a way that beats somebody over the head. Shit, man, it's like Stan Lee said that himself, man. But it's not beating them over the head with it. So many things out there are literally like politically, but again, agendas. That's what you're talking about. I don't think a lot of this, I think a lot of things like people put in, like a lot of the stuff that people will complain about is woke. I think a lot of people put a lot of that stuff in there with the intention of it not maybe being so harshly received, maybe. And some of them by all means do. Some of them by all means do. But I think it's the difference of, I mean, obviously background education. I mean, you could look at your home life and any of those kinds of things. College. But there's just a lot of that. But there's so many things out there that are exactly that. Like people who like talk about like Star Wars and escapism and all this, like, oh, it's escapist entertainment, like bullshit. Like it's bullshit. Like you can go through there and watch the movie. Like a lot of it is politically, how would you say, they're allegories, and they're not even like necessarily, but they're all parallel to that. The difference is they're not beating you over the head with telling you that it's that. And you could also look at the fact that it's also based on philosophy, right? These philosophical things. But philosophy and politics are like, they kind of go hand in hand, right? The politics being how we as people get together, get along, how we naturally assimilate with our own people who look like us, and the way we see and view the world. And of course, there's plenty of people out there, like I like to think myself included, people who aren't really worried about that, but it's still all there. It's just that people aren't beating you over the head with these political narratives. But this is this goes into the whole thing with people always denying the culture war. The culture war is real. It's a never-ending thing. You know why? Because we're humans and we evolve. We've got faster communication now than ever. I can communicate with somebody clear across the world from me right now in just a few seconds. We're able to closely, be closer to each other while still being so far apart. The culture war part of it is people fighting to keep their culture alive while also celebrating it, while also bringing the awareness of those things to the world. Also, in the way we all get together and interact with each other in public spaces, whether it's for whatever different reasons it is, for in political spaces, over our political differences. All these things play a part in culture. you know. And that's why people talk about, you know, the like these movies, these entertainments, and all this music and all this stuff. It doesn't, you know, like it's all like there's no culture war stuff. Like, yeah, sure it is. These are all expressive mediums in which people express themselves through films, through music, all that, you know, writing, poetry, all that bullshit. It's all people expressing themselves. A lot of times, the way maybe the way they feel, the way they view the world. But the culture war, it's an ongoing thing. It's because we're constantly changing and interacting with each other, right? All of that stuff. You know, I know people like to act like everything is so divisive now. Everybody's so much more divided now than they ever were. It's just that we have everybody and their opinions is right there for you to see now, right at your fingertips. It's no different than it was 10, 20, 30 years ago with people who get together and meet in person and have discussions with each other. But the ongoing culture war is exactly that, how we all interact and react and respond to each other and all those things in the world. I mean, the culture war really fucking, yeah, absolutely it is. Is it as big a deal as some people make it? No. It's really ultimately, like I said, how we're communicating with the world. And that's one of the things, you know, like the arts. You know, we could certainly take a look at the liberal arts, right? Where you could take a look and say that there's maybe you could say there's a certain political ideology that seems to have the monopoly on entertainment. Sure. That's why there's the war over it. That's why there's this stuff going on, because you can see, like right now, like I see movies out there and like I'm like, you know, like it doesn't matter what it is. It's that like I see a lot of stuff out there, movies and shit coming out. I'm like, this just looks boring. And you know, you go watch them, it's like it's all right. It's and a lot of it's not even because it's like woke or this or that or anything else. It's like it's just a bad movie. There's just not good stuff. There's just not a lot of good stuff coming out right now. But a lot of it, I mean, a lot of people will argue because it's because of wokeness, because the left has control and all this stuff. And that's why they're trying to gain back control. And it's really not that. It's a balance. But the thing is, it's a balance. And what is it a balance in? I wouldn't even say it's a balance in politics. It's a balance in storytelling. It's a balance in storytelling, and the difference being good storytelling and bad storytelling. But largely, overall, I really do disagree with that, in the fact that, like, you go there to be entertained. That doesn't mean that everything you're entertained by is just escapist entertainment. You know, the thing is a good director, a good writer, good actors are able to take that and make it entertaining and make it mean something and present you with something that you feel a way about and make you think about it. Not telling you how to feel, just making you think about it. Right? Just making you think about it. That's really it. I mean, yeah, it's just like that whole escapist entertainment thing. Like I said, I do get it to a certain point. Like there certainly is a lot of that. You know, that's what we want. But you do that even with a lot of things that you think are just that, still have all the politics and all that stuff in there. Maybe you just don't see it because it's from a good writer. It's from a good director. Take a look at, like, I guess a good example recent I could come up with is like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. How Sam Raimi was actually able to make a good movie within the confines of the MCU without following the MCU formula. They're so formulaic, the formula that they have in the movie. They did some of it, but it's not the normal MCU formula, right? It's that. He proved something with the movie. But whether people want to believe that or not is a completely different story. But I largely always disagree with that. I mean, some things are escapist entertainment and stuff like that. And there are certainly plenty of things out there that have political agendas in them. And like I said, a lot of things have the politics in there. Just not everything has the agenda part in it. And that's I think that's largely what you're talking about, where a lot of this stuff these days do have that. And I totally get that. I totally get that. I've talked about that with even like, you know, like the Sam Wilson Captain America in the comic books. You know, like some stories I think are actually pretty good. But when you get in and read some of it, it's like, this is like, this shit is just stuff that was on the news in 2016 that they put in this comic book. But so I get it. So I do get that though. But thank you so much for being here, Basco Scenario. Like you gave me like a segment there. You gave me like a segment. Let's see. Okay, where are we at? Man, I'm like way behind. Since Atlantean and Marvel Studios are blue skinned, its race is changing their origins. Yes. My man Trinity is be on this from day one, and I love it. Yes. Atlantean are Mediterranean North African. Two-gun Pedro. Pew pew. What is up, my man? Ridiculous thoughts. So Namor has been race coded. Apparently, man. Like he's like, if you think about it, this time they didn't even like they actually, yeah. Not even just the actor. Not even just the like. This isn't even the actor they actually race swapped in here. You know, like sometimes they like race swap that. Like this time they're actually race swapping the character, like the actual. Anyway, like the whole roots and everything. Like yeah. It's definitely a different example for sure. Not in the MCU now, but yeah, right. Not in the MCU now. I don't have a problem with the change per se, says Obi-Wan the homie, because I wouldn't want to have Aquaman knock off vibes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I know the difference. I don't think, but and believe me, I don't think largely audiences are gonna get Aquaman and Namor confused at all. But like I hear you. Two Gun Praiser says, sorry, that was difficult listening to. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What was difficult listening to? What was difficult listening to? Oh, you mean the stream yesterday? Maybe that's what you're talking about. That's the stream yesterday. Also, the Eternals were planting the seeds since they visited ancient Babylonia, Mesopotamia, Tenochtitlan, and even the atomic aftermath on Hiroshima. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they were there too. That's right. They were there. Oh, Obi-Wan the homie, dude. Damn it. Damn, you got my. You're gonna get my mind off on a whole other tangent now. Oh man. Okay. Let's see. Why don't they just make new characters instead of changing the characters that have been part of the Marvel's history for many years? Yeah. Well, and then here's the thing: they don't even have to make new characters. They just need to just take the characters you got, and just bring them to the screen, and you can worry about making new characters later. Like they got the characters. But Marvel already had the Tateo. What's that? What is that? Basco. What's the Tateo? Where's that Tia? Where's that Tia Teo? Jedi Mike says, "Wow, I'm here." Yeah, lazy writing, lack of imagination by the creators. They have yeah. My official handbook of the Marvel Universe Deluxe Edition is my source. Nothing they retcon is canon since 2012. Marvel hasn't been Marvel. It's Disney fan fix. Well, I mean the MCU stuff definitely is. Everything I've read during the 80s and 90s is almost meaningless now. It's actually not, but they like again like this is something I kind of talked about yesterday too is line skipping. They're doing a lot of line skipping. He's almost only Namor came out first. Aquaman knocked off Marvel. Yeah. Good point there. E equals MCU. Thank you so much for being here, my man Armand in the building. From 1939 to 2012. Yeah. Already made $1 billion. Yeah. Yeah, I mean normies. Yeah, and that's true. Normies might not, but yeah. Don't do Tecate. Hmm. That like I don't drink Tecate. I have. I love putting the mythology in the movies, but that's different than retconning the character's origins. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I agree with you, MCU OG. At this point, I gotta just watch and accept what they put forth. It's their IP, so they probably don't care what I think. Yeah, and you're not lying there either, Quentin. That's very true. Um, and off mine and many others' money over the years, then they give it no respect. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, absolutely. Star Wars MCUG. Yeah, an IP spell checker on phone. Oh yeah, yeah. No, you're all good. Yeah, yeah. To replace for fans to be in. Yeah, it is. Interesting badass discussions. Thanks MCU and Myrtle. Yeah. Just remember this: MCU is not the comic universe. No, it's not. So you can change whatever they want. They have been doing that since day one. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Jedi Jen says, do they change the story so that they cannot be sued by the comic creators? I wouldn't say it's that at all. I wouldn't say it's that at all. Basically because like a lot, like for one, everybody has this misconception that they don't pay their creators. A lot of most people have been paid. Now, have they compensated them fairly? That's a whole other discussion altogether. But you know, like even when like Hawkeye came out, people were like, "Oh, David Aha, nobody's paying." Like he's credited there and all that stuff. I'm sure he got a check. I'm sure he got it. Was it fair compared to the money they're making, spent? Probably not. Easily arguable, but I think. But I hear the thing. I think a reason that they change a lot of it is because of us nerds who like the comics, who are reading the comics, who are going to speculate on this stuff. And for one, it sells those back issues, those comics, but also it kind of gets everybody talking and it changes it up also. So even people who know the comics don't know what to expect. I would say that's largely their biggest reason for doing it. I wouldn't say it's necessarily not to be sued by the creators, but I'm sure there's a certain level of that as well. And not in the fact that they don't want to be sued, but a certain level of. And here's the thing: is like a lot of these characters have been around so long. I'm sure they're shuffling around trying to find ways like what can we do with this character to kind of take and pay homage to the character since it started to right now, this evolution of the character. I think that's part of the other thing that they're trying to do as well in changing some of that. I mean, because, yeah, yeah. Air Spider 23, thank you so much for being here. Trust me, I want to love it. Marvel been part of my life since the late 70s. I get no happiness from criticizing them. Yeah, absolutely. I remember my dumbass thinking that that boy they saved in the beginning of the Eternals was a young Namor. Oh man. Hey, that doesn't mean that it couldn't be. Papa Cotton, my man, says I've been making crap decisions is what the entertainment industry has been doing for years. If you're surprised, you're a pinhead. Yeah. This is where I need a pinhead laughing gif, right? Right? Yeah. Yeah. That's great, Papa Cotton. Thank you so much for being here. They changed them so they don't seem dated in the future. Yeah, I think there's some of that to it too. Jedi Jen, since Disney took over, yeah, the changes they are so they don't have to pay creators. I don't think it's exactly that. I mean, like I said, some of it's that, but largely a lot of them they pay. A lot of them they pay. Like I said, fairly though, we could talk about fair. Of course, we could talk about fair compensation all day long. Oh man, whatever Trinity wants me to. Yes, consistency. Yeah, as a comic reader, I was bored through a lot of the first two phases. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of people in the comic community that don't like these. That don't like the films that aren't. Well, I wouldn't say don't like them, but aren't as hyped about the films. About the films. Yeah. Um, WandaVision merch moved. Yes, Eternals is still merch is still sitting. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, follow the money. Kate Bishop merch is doing well. Lucas Texvenger, thank you so much for being here. Says good morning. No doubt all of these decisions are based on financial implications and not saying 100% faithful to the comic origin stories is to be expected. Yeah, absolutely. I see Ms. Marvel merch sitting as well. Yeah, yeah. I couldn't even imagine a Moon Knight show growing up. So I am happy we have it, just not liking the direction 100% of the time. Yeah, I agree with that. Star Wars MCU OG, I agree. Yeah. MCU lost me. The new stuff is boring, says Brian McCann. I understand. Hey, I understand that. You ain't gonna hear it. You ain't gonna hear it. Like, I can't really disagree. Like, I like most people. I'll tell you, most people maybe can't. How would you say articulate it well? But I get it. I get it. Like I said, go watch it. Go watch the stream. Go watch the stream that I did that I was on yesterday with Nerdette's Newsstand. I was on there with her. Go out and check out. I was on there for I don't know. I was on there for maybe about 30 minutes or so, but I was on there. Go check out what I said. I think you might like what I had to say. New characters in Phase 4, Agatha, White, Vision, Sylvie, all the Eternal Shang-Chi, Black Knight, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Echo, Kate Bishop, Yelena, Ms. Marvel, not even close to the end of Phase 4. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's only the target audience for speculators. Yeah, that is definitely going to happen. Watch Ms. Marvel. Yeah. Phase 4 is lacking compared to earlier phases, but I like No Way Home and Strange 2 was at least solid. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Like, you know what's funny is like No Way Home, and I talked about this before. Like, No Way Home came out and it went. Like, you don't really see anybody talking about No Way Home. Like, obviously, people still like the movie, and when you bring it up, people are like, oh yeah, they're hyped. But like, you don't see like who's talking about MCU net or like MCU Spider-Man now, like speculating stuff. Like, oh, in Spider-Man this and that. Nobody gives a shit at this point. On to the next ride, folks. Step right up. We've got Moon Knight for you, coming right after Spider-Man No Way Home. Oh wait, no. Yeah, because it was Hawkeye that ended. Then it was Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah, that was it. Don't worry, folks, if you don't like Moon Knight, right after that, we've got Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness. And if that's not enough for you, don't worry. Soon, we've got Ms. Marvel, She-Thor, She-Hulk, Shang-Chi. Oh, I'm guys, stop. Yeah, the Mug of Power makes its appearance. Yes, another. I need to get that. I need to get that gift too. Going through it. Trinity is on one today. Yeah. Jim Hamm Human Torch. They used his android body to make Vision. Yeah. Okay, there we go. I knew it was something like that. Yeah. Jim Hamm Human Torch. Yeah. That whole Human Torch Wonder Man origin is wild. Yeah, it is. The android Human Torch didn't become Vision. It was thought he was, but in '89, West Coast Avengers found the original Human Torch intact. Yeah, as I say, like I've been reading through the West Coast Avengers, and that like I was remembering some of that story, and then how but it's weird. It is weird. Like it's a lot. It's a lot there to keep up with. The Beskar are the last people of Atlantis. Ah, the Bask, huh? I did not know that. I wonder if he would feel the same way about the MCU, Marvel, the MCM. Oh, don't you? If it started the same time as streaming Disney Plus. Feel about the MCU if it started same time as. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Good question. Because how would it be different? You know what I mean? How would it be different? Because those first two phases, like I said, those first two phases were it's funny, I heard somebody echo this the other day too. The first two phases were the dream. It was the dream phase. They're kind of like, man, like we don't know if we're going to get the next film. We're just trying to do what we can to hopefully tease the next film to get people excited. And now they're past the dream phase. It's real. They're in the reality phase. You know what I mean? Like it's now. And sometimes once you're there in the big race, once you you got it, you don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like you forgot don't act like it's never happened. You know what I mean? You've prepared your whole life for this. Now all of a sudden you're fumbling around and like all you got to do is what you've been doing. what you train to do for the past your whole life. There you go. Right? Yeah. Um You are correct, Brian. My memory is hazy from too much 420, right? Yeah. Yeah, Star Wars Ultron. Ultron uses spare body. Ultron uses spare body the creator of Human Torch was building. Ultron gave Vision the face pack. Yeah, as I say, and I can't remember because I remember reading that and I couldn't remember, and because I had to kind of go back and read some because some of the stuff wasn't in that book. It's like, yeah, because a lot of it, yeah, it's old stuff, man. Yeah, talk about retconning. Oh man. The Beskar scenario says, I agree, well said. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you. Like I said, I need to clip that later, and that's a segment. You gave me a segment. 1977 Tales of Tribes and Old Philosophy. Yeah, Lee, Kirby, Roddenberry, and Lucas won the culture war. You don't have to like their politics. Get off their nuts and find your own thing. Oh, my man, Aglax in the building. Thank you so much for being here. Don't beat me over my hairy head. But if your story makes me beat the bald head, that's cool. Oh, weird. Agreed, OG on phase 4. Yeah, man. I'm getting close to caught up, I swear. Thank you so much for being here, Justin Simone. Marvel says mutants aren't about civil rights. Marvel says mutants aren't about civil rights anymore. They say they're about LGBT rights now. Oh, man. Don't get me started on X-Men. Don't get me. Don't start on the X-Men. Just shh. No, I'm not going there. George Carlin documentary. Oh, George Carlin documentary second sweep. Marvel, treat yourself. Yeah, think back when they were 1000% more subtle. Yeah. Absolutely, Justin. Love Carlin. Yeah, Carlin. Yeah, in all forms of media. Flash by Night Comics. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're doing well. Human rights are civil rights are semantical rights. Yes. You gotta get back on the podcast. Yeah, absolutely, Quentin. Anytime, man. Andre Oro, thank you so much for being here. What pisses me off? Modern writers cannot write heroes. They turn everyone into villains now. Well, I would say it's arguable that if they can't write heroes, they can't write villains. I would make this argument that if they can't write heroes, they can't write villains. And I will say, largely because in many cases, the difference between the good guy and the bad guy is the things they're willing to justify to meet their ends, right? To get what they want, the heinous things that they will do to get there. Which is the interesting thing when you go back and watch like Doctor Strange 2 and the Multiverse of Madness. People have been talking about this, about the Illuminati there and how they just went and killed Doctor Strange and lied to everybody about it. They put up a fucking monument. They lied about all that shit. Don't act like that's not morally questionable, right? Like, okay, so that's the thing. Were they villains? Were they the villains? In that sense. Maybe that Doctor Strange was actually the good guy, the one they killed. And maybe that's why Professor Xavier was there. And he's like, I don't know about y'all, but I like this guy. I think he's different. Y'all are fucking jaded. I'm gonna give this guy the keys. But I think that's largely the difference. Not always, but largely that's the difference. And maybe that's the thing that the biggest distinction between the good guy and the bad guy is the things they're willing to do to justify to get to meet their ends. Right? Most good villains are that way. Most good villains, you understand, you can sympathize with them. But you see what they do and you're like, you're Drake. And do I need to get that gift too? Yeah, you're Drake. You know what I mean? Like you sitting there, you get the aim, you're like, right? I'm saying. But no, I hear you though too. Like, yeah, they can't. It was also done at the detriment of the story. It was enhancing the story. Yeah. Yeah. Or make the villain have a reason. They can't just be evil because they're a piece of shit. Right. More great Gary storytelling and actual heroes versus villain writing right now. Yeah. Absolutely. Spider-Verse and Quantumania Madness. Yeah. Funny that all this can be traced back to a story to begin with. Plato repeating stories of a place called Atlantis. There you go. Bam. Yeah. Dune Part 1 was politically cool. All right. I haven't seen that one in a while. Cartoons and comics, thank you so much for being here. It's true the lack of balance is out of the charge. Is like a mob of televangelists took over entertainment and won't stop using creationism on the comics and cover all females and sinfully bodies. Oh yeah. I hear what you're saying there. Yeah. The balance, absolutely balance. Cartoons and comics, yeah, absolutely, 100%. Thank you so much for being here, Cartoons and Comics. Star Wars MCOG says Plato. Didn't Plato say Atlantis was beyond the Pillars of Hercules, i.e., the Straits of Gibraltar? Could be. I don't know, man. I'm not that good with all that stuff. Robert St. Clair, my man, in the building. Says money will always be king, and whatever is going to make these studios companies the most profits is the direction they will pull towards. They don't care about appeasing the woke crowd. It's all money driven. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, because they're driven to. The thing is, they're driven to get. They want the money from the woke crowd too, so they'll do what they can to get it, at the detriment of turning away other dollars. Absolutely. Like, yeah, I hear you. Absolutely, the almighty dollar, for sure. Yeah, I hear you guys. I stopped reading all of Penguin Random House because one sentence criticism I paint the whole community, the whole company with because I'm a lunatic. Yeah, absolutely, Glax. I want comics heroes to stay about heroes. Comics of anti-heroes have their place too. Also, comics featuring villains are okay too. Just don't turn heroes into villains. Here's the thing, like, and the cool thing is, like, you can have a hero fall and do something that they shouldn't and work their way back from it. Absolutely. But it also has to be one of those things that can't be too morally questionable either, right? Right? He did OG, and that's why I think its origins are in the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, yeah. There we go. Atlantis is from when Pangea was around, when Earth was a single continent, Western Caribbean. All right, yeah. Their own Aztec gods. Yeah. You guys can say what you want about Disney chasing money, but no amount of foreign box office is going to change them from showing our children sorcery and witchcraft. God bless them. 666. Yeah. Aglax. Oh man. Yeah. I got you, Beskar. Yeah, I know what you meant. That is the Aglax. I know, stirring the pot. Yeah, absolutely. How many times did you ride this past weekend, since next weekend will be so busy? I rode yesterday, I rode Saturday, and yeah, probably gonna go for another ride today. I'm getting more consistent on the bike, not just my workouts. But yes, thank you so much. $5,000 for paying for the stuff you created isn't fair, but in business it's not about what is fair, what's negotiated ahead of time. Right. Yeah. It's not what I know, it's what I can prove. Trust me, I know the law. Right. Yeah. I would buy comics that are a little more expensive if the money went to the creator retirement money tied to the amount of time they spent like baseball, but without the fucking. I hear you, Aglax. Yeah. Basically a good comic. Yeah. What is interesting about the past 100 years or so of history is that in the future we'll be able to go back and see it with our own eyes and not have to rely on stories going forward. Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. But those things can be destroyed too. A lot of our communication tools and stuff right now as can be destroyed. That's why physical media is still important as well. Um, so coming down for Free Comic Book Day when all the weekend at the LA Night One Pearl Jam show. Nice, nice. Can't wait to hang out and talk Kenobi. Says oh okay, yeah. Let's see. One thing is for sure, they don't pay good writers for their movies or shows anymore. Get out of here with this. Michael Waldron is a good writer. Shit, more Powell's. Yeah. I'm not liking the Michael Waldron stuff either. Like, you got to convince me still. Yeah. I'll be there as well, Mike and Obi-Wan. I'll be there too. What do you think about the fact Netflix doesn't have any agreement to a toy company to this day? This could save them. That Netflix doesn't have any agreement to a toy company to this day. Could this save them? I'm not sure where you're going. What that means exactly? I'm not sure exactly what that means. What you mean by that? By that. Let's see. Jedi Mike says X-Men triggered. Yeah, just rewatched Phase 1. Way better than Phase 4. Probably helps they were Paramount films. Right. Yeah. Disney, I think, bought them like right as Avengers was coming out. Wasn't that right? Like right as the first Avengers movie. Those films were ahead of their time. With the budget MCU has now, those movies would have been insane. Yeah. Absolutely. 838 Illuminati was shady as fuck. I was talking about it right after I left the theater, but I'm talking about it a lot of stuff on my Twitter. Right. Yeah, yeah. And that certainly was shady. But yeah, them doing that. Great, Felix. Thank you so much. So they changed the story because of Aquaman. Pretty bummed. Yeah, that is yeah. That is pretty bumming, especially considering. Is this the appropriate time to bring up Amber? Is this? How about we just leave Amber out of it? We can leave Johnny out too. Speaking of it, people are so like, look, and that's the thing. I was thinking about this too. When we were talking about political narratives and stuff, is like, one way a good writer brings it in is they bring it in by getting to your emotions, something that you're emotional about. Like there was like the Black Widow movie, for instance. The movie started off like right towards the beginning. You see all the child trafficking and all that bullshit. I feel very strongly about that bullshit, man. Like that, like fucking child predators, fucking human trap. Like that's some fucked up shit, man. And I think most people feel the same way about it. It's like, man, like that, and believe me, that's some political narrative hitting you over the fucking head, right? Just because of, exactly kind of what the movie goes into, as well. But like that's some shit right there. You want me fucking emotionally engaged? Bam! You fucking slam me over the head with some human trafficking right at the very beginning of the movie. Oh yeah, I want to watch the movie. I'm interested now. I'm engaged. Remember, like, what was that last Rambo movie? Not the last one that just came out. Not that one where he's in Mexico, but the one before that. Remember, was it in Cambodia or wherever, where he's sitting there, like, and you see like them people, like they were like the fucking worst of the worst. They were going through fucking gunning down women and children and everything, and he shows up, and he goes fucking crazy in that movie, like instantly, right in the beginning of that movie. They fucking hit you with that hard emotional shit. Like, holy shit, these people are the worst fucking scum of the earth. You know what I mean? It's like, bam, it gets you right there. You know? Yeah. Oh, okay. So But yeah, that does suck. That they change it. There's the X-Men cartoon book for everyone who is confused by these stories. For people who have kept up on the for people who haven't kept up on the X-Men. I hope they do the Namor story where he buys a movie studio and casts the Fantastic Four in a movie so that he can try to hook up with Sue, right? Yeah, I've seen the memes going around. Yeah, Namor gonna step in and be like, boom, chicka, bow, wow. In my head, can Professor X read Strange's mind and knew he was good? Not sure the writer thought that far. Yeah. No, I'm with you, Justin. So you headed over to Namor's office at 3 a.m. for an audition. Yeah. that that casting couch. Yeah, we need some pictures of Namor on a casting couch. Can somebody send me that meme? Namor sitting on a casting couch, like, oh. You know what I'm talking about. Stop, Justin. You maybe Leslie Headland would book it. You're terrible. Come on, who dumps Mr. Fantastic? Namor looks good in a speedo. There's no denying that. But Mr. Fantastic, oh shit. Oh yeah. Disney bought Marvel in December 31st, 2009. Yeah, okay. But did they own like the studios and the rights to those movies by that time? That's why I can't remember. Because I think like I thought the Avengers was the first one where they basically had like kind of the full production rights and all that bullshit. I could be wrong. I could be remembering history wrong. Trust me. The new Obi-Wan book came out. It's my favorite thing. In it, Palpatine being deliciously evil. The guy is so evil it's almost debilitating. Nice. Yeah, Namor T. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant. Save series canceled. Like Invincible. Make almost 1 billion on merchant. Something like Umbrella Academy don't have anything like it. Something like Umbrella Academy don't have anything like it on Netflix. Oh, you mean like will having a good property, something popular, save them? I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know. The Netflix thing, like them doing so bad is so interesting. So interesting, that Netflix thing. It's funny too because I remember me like when I had Young Ripper 59 on the stream several years ago. One of the things we talked about was Blockbuster Video, right? Blockbuster Video, right? And they basically who put Blockbuster Video out? Was it Netflix was it Redbox? Remember when Redbox came and they did the little thing, the little kiosk? And then you got Netflix out there? Like, and now it's funny because you see Netflix kind of one of the things that was like the replacement to a Blockbuster, to a Redbox. And you see what's going on with them. And it's like there's no denying you have to like your company has to evolve. It has to change. Does it have to evolve to the point where you lean so hard into something that you turn away people and they take their money with them and then you got to try to get them back? Well, I mean, that's where they went to. That's where they went to. Yeah, that's a tough one, man. Yeah, to me, like I feel like it's Blockbuster all over again. For a few chapters of Brotherhood, surprised it's been pretty good. Oh, is that the Brotherhood novel? Aglax. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, is that what you talking about? So you said Rambo, and now I got to do push-ups. Yeah. Damn it, Aglax. Here we go. Oh man, that's funny. What are your opinions on Moon Knight and Eternals? I think Moon Knight was a bit underwhelming, but Eternals are really bad. Man, I've talked about those a lot here. Great Felix. I think Moon Knight, it was okay. It was all right. Probably it was probably like well produced and everything. It was probably like one of the best produced MCU shows on Disney Plus. My favorite's still WandaVision. I'd say it's probably my second favorite. It's probably second favorite. But it's not bad. Eternals, like go catch the beginning of the stream and go catch the beginning of the stream. You'll see how much. I guess I don't really necessarily like Eternals. I like the things that it did, the things that it's doing for me right now. But I think the larger problem is something that I'm going to be talking about in a video that I've actually got uploaded. Will be releasing probably later today. That has to do with Phase 4 and a lot of these movies basically just being launching pads into the next movie and not really serving themselves in the movie per se. And that movie was largely all Easter eggs serving the MCU as a whole and not the movie and the characters itself. It's not terrible, but it's not great. Just throw that one today. All right. Probably like adventures. All right. My son just got the Book of Boba Throne Room set. Fire! Nice. Wait. Throne Room set. What are you talking about? Throne. Is that where you? No, that's not the one. No, that hasn't come out yet. Like Strange 2 was more gritty. Was more gritty than Moon Knight. Yeah. Lego Boba was Boba Fett new armor mini. Oh, okay, nice. I'm in these Lightyear Legos right now. Also building a Starlight beacon. Sweet. It's incompetent exclusive executives on it. Redbox came first. Numbers of the watching time you need an actual income source of it, or your blockbuster is in the way. Disney Plus give me poster and a t-shirt discount. Right. Yes. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Redbox. I mean, again, Redbox. They're in a peculiar situation. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. It's funny. I posted a meme. Somebody was posted that. I was like, it's going to be interesting how it plays out with that. Bold strategy cotton. Let's see how it does for them. Yeah. Eternals theory is now history. Yeah, it is. It's getting there. Moon Knight and Eternals didn't connect with everyone. So you're saying they nailed their brands? Yeah, absolutely. Quentin, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I greatly appreciate that. And on that note, that means that is going to bring me here to the end of our stream today. I want to thank you all so much for being here today. If you're watching this on the replay, please let me know what you think about all these harebrained theories and everything I've got going through my head. Stuff from the recent Namor leaks that we've got going on out there. Why it's no surprise to me, because some of the stuff that I've kind of watched through the Eternals movie, through the Moon Knight series, and going on through there. But if you like what you're seeing here, please make sure you subscribe. Click the little bell and all that good stuff. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Give it a thumbs down if you don't. But certainly, if you do like what you're seeing, consider becoming one of our channel members, and certainly consider sharing out this stream with your friends so they can come back here and hear all of my terrible theories that Eric Voss is probably gonna go out there and steal and put on his channel because he is a bigger channel and he can talk a little bit faster about nerdy things like this than I can. You all have a very good day and we'll see you in the next video. Later.